This is Mentally Dope. Join us, Charmaine and Jasmine, two Black licensed therapists, as we build a bridge between mental health and Black culture. Come on, it's gonna be dope.
Hey, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Why are you laughing at me?
I thought you were gonna sing your song.
Welcome back. Okay, it is Stay Mentally Dope time. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode. If you click the button, hopefully you know that we are talking about Doechii. And Jasmine is like a super fan. I am a new fan of Doechii. Have been loving the songs that I've been hearing so far.
I don't know if I'm super.
You're a super fan?
Am I super fan?
Yes.
I just know a lot about people. Because if I like something, I also like alternative hip hop, alternative R&B.
Yeah.
So if I know something, I'm gonna like be obsessed with you for a minute, and then that's it.
Okay. We're talking about Doechii. Denial is a river.
There's a lot to talk about, guys.
Denial is a river.
It is a river. But isn't that a saying where it's like denial ain't just a river in Egypt?
Yes.
But who said it and what for?
I don't know. I always remember that was a line from the game when Malik said that.
It's like an old people saying.
Yes.
But I don't know why they say it. Tell us in the comments.
Yeah, I don't know.
And maybe it's Southern. I don't know. Nobody I know ever said it, though.
Yeah.
I just heard it before.
But anywho, she did name the song that. And the premise of the song is, I mean, I think it's about denial, but it's also about moving past denial, I guess, in a sense. Past denial in a sense to accept what has happened over the past couple of years of her life.
And her part in it.
Yes.
All of it. Like,
yeah.
It's the layers of, like, what has happened in your life, and also what role did I play in it, and also do I want it to keep looking like that?
Which I think is a hard thing if we jump into this. If that's a hard thing, I think, for a lot of us to sit with, actually being able to sit and self-reflect on our past, especially if it was something hard or difficult. I know I can definitely attest to something hard, difficult, or something that I did not want to deal with happening, and me just trying to sweep it under the rug and pretending that it didn't exist, and then just continue to move on with life as if this thing did not exist, and not actually recognizing what I'm dragging with me in the process.
Recognizing, holding, acknowledging. It's almost as if just because you avoid something doesn't actually make it go away.
100%.
Just if you pretend like it's not there with you in the room, doesn't make it not there with you in the room.
Yeah. And I think a hard part of like what comes with something like potentially being traumatic, if it is something heavy or harmful or traumatic, is like what it leaves with you. So yes, I'm ignoring this thing and pretending like it doesn't exist, but parts of it are still coming with me. Parts of it are still like seeping out, which is like normally what happens when we see in this song that Doechii is talking about like, so like the song starts off with, I'm not exactly sure who was the person talking to her. Is it supposed to be like a symbolism of something?
I think it's like self-talk. I think it's her.
Okay.
Like it's that part pushing against being like, do you want to talk about it? She's like, no, well, no judgment. Like it's the part that's like, we need to deal with this.
Self-talk, or I couldn't tell if it was like a substance, because it was like you used to use me. So yeah, it could be self-talk, but it's like this.
I think that to me, it would feel like it's both, right?
Yeah,
there's a part that uses too of just like, you used to use me in this way. I used to help you out in this way.
Yes.
And like, I don't want things to look like that anymore.
Yes. So she's having this.
This is good on Part's work too, because when we saw her break down the video, she was also saying like, oh, that's a person that I don't want to be anymore. That's a part of me that shouldn't be here anymore, and like her reactions to people. So anyway, we're going to talk about Parts too in this episode.
But that's a good segue too. Have you guys ever been at a place where you thought that you could just excommunicate a part of you? You thought that you could just remove that part of you.
I'm going to send this to some of my clients. I think they need to hear this.
that part of you that like you wanted to be like, well, I'm not going to be that person anymore. I'm not going to behave like that anymore. I'm not going to act like that anymore. I am a new person without actually doing any work around anything. We just woke up and we said, I don't want to be like that anymore. So I'm just not going to be like that anymore.
Which episode was that? How to Die Alone?
Yes, I was thinking the same thing.
When she was like, I'm actually not this person, and I have new hair, and I have new clothes, and so that means I'm not this person. But then when she got in the same situation, she was still this person, and nothing had actually changed.
Yeah.
She was just cuter. I don't know.
100%. And I think that like in this song with Doechii, we see that even though she is saying that she did not want to acknowledge this part of her anymore, the part of her never really went away, and it continued to pop up. This normally happens for us in different situations, like where like you go to sleep at night and then suddenly all those thoughts start coming back in your head, or like Jasmine said, you get into a situation and then suddenly we start having like all of these moments where the other part is starting to pop up and be like, we should do this, or like we should do that. So it still pops up. So the way that she tried to combat that, which many of us do, though she tried to combat that with, I'm going to stay busy.
That was one of the ways.
Yes, yes. I'm going to stay busy. And then we also introduced substances. I'm going to numb. And then we also have another one I feel like that a lot of us do as well. She was like, I'm going to find things that I find fun. Which
distract.
Like, yes, but I think like that's a hard one too to be able to sit with. That a lot of times we think that going out and finding things that are fun or that we like to do is a positive way for us to cope, in which in some ways it can be, but it can also be a distraction. But we justify it by saying it's positive. So like in the song, she's saying, but I like these things. I like day drinking. I like going to parties. I like strip clubs. Sex. Yeah, like all of these things. And I think that we do that too, even with positive things. I like having my friends over. I like going shopping. Like, I like going to school. I like learning. Like all of these things that we say that we love to do, we do. I was a serial, I need to keep learning. And then I had like 15 certifications and things and all these trainings, and it was like.
But let me also say there's a reason why black women are the most highly educated bunch in the country. Because I also think that is a way that we gain value. Sometimes it's a way to distract. I know a lot of black women who are just like, I'm going to just go get another degree. Yeah. Like it is what it is. I'm going to just start another business. Talking to myself, right? Let me just go to do this thing and keep my hands busy, and we don't take the time to evaluate, like, what's the reason? What's the point?
Yeah.
What are we doing? Is this actually getting what I want? Do I even know what I want? Or do I just want to disconnect from right now?
Or I think that, and you brought up a good point, and I think that Doechii says it in the song too, you can take something that was a goal of yours or something that you had, and you can almost taint it. Like she said that she loved music, that music was her therapy, music was like what she wanted to do. But during this time of life, when she was trying to distract, she poured all of herself into her music, and she wasn't even producing the kind of music that she was not even like, producing the kind of music that she wanted to produce. And
she wasn't doing it in a way that felt good for her. Because like she said, she was making like 6 songs in an afternoon. Right, that was too much pressure, too much output, instead of being able to like go through the creative process. Because so sometimes it's not even about the thing that you're doing, it's about the how that you're doing the thing you're doing.
Yes. So for me, I can once again speak to myself. I know that feeling of, like you said, starting a business that you love, like doing something that you love, but then utilizing this thing that you love in a way that now I'm just filled up with time. I'm not doing it in a way that I love anymore. I'm productive. I may be like, making money, like she said.
Successful.
But yes.
Right? Like.
But yeah, my heart's not in it anymore.
Yeah.
And now I'm just doing it just to continue to produce, to continue to be busy, or
there's
like
pressure
whatever.
around it. I have to maintain it. I think that's what she said. And I feel like that's where we find ourselves in, right? We might make a level of money or find a level of success, and we feel like, okay, what's next? How do I replicate this? Or how do I top myself? And that feels like pressure, and like you have to drive yourself in a way that you wouldn't have if you didn't have that pressure.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can't be happy with the success you have now because there's other things to do.
But that goes back to what we were saying too about why it is so important for us to have space for self reflection and self inventory.
But I'm going to add to that, that is a skill. Some people have
Is.
a really hard time tolerating being with themselves. And I'm saying it like that on purpose because I think there's like can be a lot of shame of like you can't be by yourself or like you can't do anything alone. But what they're really saying is that's hard to tolerate. There's something in there that makes that hard to tolerate, hard to sit with, all that stuff. I need something else to help me with that. But that doesn't mean you can't do it. It doesn't mean you can't grow into it.
Yeah.
But to tolerate because it's necessary. We talk about this all the time. You need to be able to self-reflect, not so you can get to, not just because you can get to know yourself, but if you know yourself, then you can tell other people about yourself.
That
It's
as
not
well.
just, I don't know, this is just how I feel. But you need to be able to say, this is how I feel, this is why I feel how I feel, and this is what I need from you.
That is a really, really good point. I feel like that I have noticed a lot with individuals that I know, even sometimes with myself, of not being able to effectively communicate my needs, my wants, what things that are going on with me, or other people trying to communicate things that they're talking about, and you're like, I am so confused. But I think it's honestly and truthfully because the person or myself,
They don't know.
yeah, like you,
I don't know what's
you
going on
have
in there.
not done enough inventory to know what's going on in here to be able to effectively communicate it.
So it's work.
It
It's
is.
the work.
But so I think that like something else that you were saying too, to piggyback off of that of
Yeah,
the
I think I did interrupt you.
no,
But I don't know what you're saying.
no. But I was saying about what you were saying too about like about the skill set of being able to sit with yourself because that is hard. And I think that for a lot of people, you need to recognize why that is hard for you. Like you said, if every single time you sit by yourself, your mind starts racing and you don't want to deal with it, so like, okay, never mind, I'm gonna get up.
I see that a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
Or like
I've been there.
yeah, oh yeah, absolutely too. But or like you have trauma and you're like, well, every time I don't keep myself busy, then the memories come back, or then like all of this stuff, and I start to get panicky. And again, you like go to therapy, process it, work it out because there is a relief from that, right? That's
100%.
not a thing that has to happen all the time.
But that also brings up a side point that I love to point out. That I love to point out for some people too is that we say a lot when individuals tell you that the best thing for you to do is to journal or to meditate and to do all of these mindful activities. Those activities are amazing. But if you are struggling with like anxious thoughts and like trauma and stuff like
Safety.
that, those things are not always going to work effectively for you.
And they're not going to feel good. They're not going to feel safe. And they're not going to feel accessible.
100%. So for people who feel like that they've been told to do this or that they've read online that this is like the important thing to do and then you try it and it does not work.
Or
sometimes
horrible.
it's not, yeah, sometimes it's not you. It's the fact that you need to be able to work through the stuff that's going on within you so that these things can be effective. I know what it feels like to want to like sit down and like do guided meditation or do like yoga and my brain is racing so bad that I can't like sit and be present. And then you're like, well, this doesn't work or I'm broken.
But I feel like that's usually the message they get. Usually of just like, oh, it doesn't work for me. Usually a message I get is like, there's something wrong with me because I can't do the meditation that everybody does. Or I can't sit down and be mindful. Or I tried your breathing exercise that you gave me as homework and it just didn't work. Or it made things worse. Like people internalize
100%.
not being able to do that when we actually don't make that accessible for people.
Yeah.
And also knowing like some of these things need to be done in community. Some people cannot self-soothe because of whatever trauma or nobody taught them to do that and they need someone to self-soothe with them.
100%.
The goal may be that eventually you self-soothe on your own, but that may not be accessible yet.
No, and I like once again speaking for myself, I had to self-soothe with other people before I learned how to self-soothe with myself. And I think that for a while there, I thought something was wrong with me. I had been told by other people.
You should just be able to do it, right? It's
I had
so
been
simple.
told by other people that like, oh, like you're just codependent. You can't be by yourself. And it was like, it wasn't that for me. It was just the fact that my my mind and my own thoughts didn't always feel safe. So therefore, I needed other people to help me emotionally regulate before I was able to learn how to do it myself. Luckily, I can now, but there was like that part of just like it wasn't as easy. And then when we listen to outside influences who do tell us something's wrong with you,
Because maybe that comes easy to them, but again, they likely don't have the background that you have.
yeah,
And I think that's the same with what Doechii is going through right now. That self-soothing was hard. She was in a difficult place in her life. She wasn't happy. She didn't like who she was, or I don't know, maybe the way she was showing up in the world. I don't want to put words in her mouth. And so it was like grabbing for anything because I don't want to be alone, right? Denial actually has a place. It has a job to do. Right? It's like my reality, I don't like it or it's uncomfortable and I want a level of separation from it. And so that might mean the strip clubs, the drugs, all the things. But I think that's everybody has some version of that in their
yeah,
life.
yeah,
As we talk about addiction all the time. But if you've ever worked in addiction, what they always say is everybody has an addiction.
we do.
Some are illegal and some aren't. Some are substances and some aren't.
Yeah, some
and
are more
most
socially appropriate,
aren't.
some whatever.
Exactly. And most aren't those big hard things because again, everybody has some level.
Yeah,
And I feel like that's even more different now because I think almost everybody has a little addiction to their phones and technology. So like maybe the saying is everybody at least has two addictions.
yeah. Yeah, and I think that so like you also said too, and I think that one of the hard things that she talks about in the song, and then you were also mentioning earlier, is the pressure that comes once you start doing something well. The pressure that comes from like people around you. Now you're expected to be able to do this. So like she said that once she started like I think it's in the songs like fast forward to 2021. I got signed. I'm making music.
I'm sure it all happened. Like that part happened fast. I'm not saying like she didn't do the work to get there, but you know how like sometimes when you get viral, it's viral and it's just everywhere all at once.
Yeah, and I think that also too, we're also talking about how things can feel like that they happen fast when we're dealing with something traumatic. If I'm trying to avoid something and then something positive comes, like you said, I'm grasping for something, and then like a life raft comes, I'm holding on to this thing for dear life, and I'm not gonna let it go. And I may not search for any other life rafts. I'm just gonna hold on to this one because it feels safe, it feels secure, and let's make it work.
It even could be a good life raft too. Like we said, like this is good. This is exactly what I wanted. And also this is convenient because I don't want to feel anything. And then we wrote it into the ground because we also didn't up level the skills that we needed as well.
Yes. So then we see in the song where she says that she's making money, she's successful, she's doing all this fun stuff, but her self-esteem was at an all-time low.
All time low. That's what she said.
I can't even cap. It was just bad.
Yeah. Which I think it's also easy for that bubble to pop then, right? Like you get the thing you want, but then like your emotions and your mental health hasn't really caught up with that. And so it's very fragile. And I think that's kind of what she's saying too, of just like, and it still looked unhealthy, even though I had more money or I had more notoriety and people knew my name.
Yes. Insert our waiting to exhale video when we talk about when you try so hard to get something that you think that you want and then you get it and it doesn't feel the way that you wanted it to feel.
It feels empty.
Yes.
It
Which
feels
also
hard.
sucks. If I've been working for something for years and years and years and then I get it and I'm just like, why do I not feel better? But like Desmond said, because you did not work on yourself and your mental health has not caught up with the success that you have now brought into your life or
With
the
the
goal
things-
that you have
yeah.
now brought into your life.
And then I will also say, like, listening to Doechii's interview about the song, I think what she was saying is the things that I was doing when I was grinding and trying to make stuff happen weren't working when I actually got to the level that I wanted to be at. Like when she started to get success, she was like, yeah, that worked for a second, right? Grinding it out, putting those songs out, making it happen, like producing everything and being a workaholic. It worked, but then it stopped working. Because then she got to a place where she was like, I don't have to recreate this way anymore. I don't want life to look like this. And I feel like that happens to us. Like the way that you got to grinding is not the way that you can sustain the success. and thriving in like whatever the new level is for you.
Yeah, but I think that, like you said, that if we're struggling with something or running from something, this is the way that we're going to continue to do it.
Yeah, because we haven't figured out why. What's the root of the issue?
And we also don't want to stop.
Or it's also actively fun. We haven't talked about the part that some people are also neurodivergent and they're dopamine seeking and things feel great and that's what they're going to do, and it takes a level of understanding yourself and strategies to make that look different.
Yeah.
Because brains be braining. Speaking from experience, as we move on.
So, I mean, just like looking at a whole. So, we're talking about denial, being in denial of things that are going on with us, trying to avoid. If you guys have not listened to the song, it's hilarious, but I did not know that this was like a true story until I watched the interviews, and I was like,
details in it for me. I was like, oh, this happened.
This is a true story. Like, we're literally going from. She starts in 2019. She goes from like a DM where she finds out that her boyfriend is cheating on her with what she thought was a girl, then finds out it's a guy. She does something to get her lick back. She does not explain. They break up.
What I heard was the statute of limitations weren't up on that, and thus she couldn't talk about it.
It could have been that. I'm not asking no questions.
Been there, done that. So.
Got the sticker. She fast forwards. She gets famous. She has never dealt with the breakup situation, and you can tell that it's clearly something that's intricate because that's like the beginning point. Like, that's where it starts, which is something else for us to highlight, that you can tell when you're not over something with how you respond to it when it's brought up.
How you talk about it,
yes,
how you hold it.
How your body reacts when you bring something up, and how, like, those things happen. So she was able to identify that this moment was, like, a triggering moment for her. Then she fast forwards, she gets signed, she starts, I'm famous, I'm getting money, but I'm not healing. And I continue to not heal, in the words of J. Cole. Good news is you came a long way. Bad news is you went the wrong way. So she is successful. She's getting money, but she's also avoiding all of her problems. She's numbing herself with substances. She is being pressured by outside people. And then she finally is like, I'm at a breaking point.
Right. I'm looking in the mirror and being like, I'm not well. This isn't working.
So I have all of these things, nothing to like internally show for it, at an all-time low. And now I need to kind of sort of look at myself, reflect and self-inventory and be like, what's going on here?
Yeah. And that's kind of the hard thing, that if you distract, if you disconnect, if you do all these things for so long, it will catch up with you, which sounds cliche, but like the thing you're running from is you. So how far can you get from yourself?
Yep.
It's still in your body, it's still in your mind, in your psyche. So
which I think
it's always going get you by the neck, like as always. Everywhere you go, there you are.
Yes. Which is also a good point, though, to be able to distinguish. You had said this earlier, but to be able to distinguish of when life is happening to you and when life is hard and when you're making your life hard for yourself by some of these behaviors. I think that there are certain things that happen to all of us in life. Death, taxes,
rejection.
Things that we have no control over.
Not taxes.
But taxes, we do not have control over taxes. But there are certain things that we do have control over. Like, if you don't pay your taxes, it's going to get worse. Like, there are certain things. But
it's not worse because I ain't got the money. It's not worse today. I ain't got it.
But saying that there are certain decisions that we make that make our life harder.
So let me give you an example.
I can't.
I'm telling Charmaine's business. But this is what I always say. To my current self, who doesn't want to do the thing that my future self needs to do, I just say, don't be trifling to yourself. And that's the conversation that I have internally. So
she also tells me too. She's like, Charmaine, why are you be trifling to yourself?
To yourself.
Yes.
Like, don't be trifling to yourself. Hey, be trifling to anybody else you want to be trifling to. Why you be trifling to the person you got to be with the whole time? So what happened? Charmaine needed to get gas. She needed to get gas. She knew she needed to get gas. And hear me well, people, because I see you seeing me, you see me, because I've done it the same way. You know you need to get gas. You know you need to get up early the next day, which means if you don't get gas tonight, you got to get up early and go get the gas. And she said, what'd you say? I went to another store and then drove to the house. Did not get gas.
Listen, yes, I did stop. After, yes, me and Jasmine hung out the other day. I drove past the gas station, went to go meet her at the store. We walked through the store. We went out to eat. I have hair on my face. We went out to eat, and then I left. Drove past several gas stations. I stopped at the store to buy some batteries because I was out of batteries at the house. And then I drove home. And then like the next day I was like, I still ain't got no gas. And drove to work.
Exactly. And what did I say? I said, why are you being trifling to yourself? Because you know it's good for you and you need it. But in the moment, you don't want it. Listen, I'm describing my whole life right here.
But
right
see,
now.
that's why I say, too, that in these moments, there may be a part of us that's like, yes, this is like the thing that I should do.
Oh, Jesus. I kicked it.
I was
it
like,
turned
what
the
is
wrong
happening?
way.
I was like, so sometimes we do have a part of us that acknowledges that we should or should not do something. But there's another part of us that will justify. Now, granted, my justification was also a safety thing. I hate getting gas late at night.
I would have followed you, but okay. I would have went with you.
I'm saying,
But it's not a bad thing.
I could have fixed it. I mean, I also could have got gas before I ever, met you, because, I mean, it was still light outside. Whatever. But
That's not what the point was.
That ain't the point. The point is that in our mind, we will justify the behaviors that we're doing to make them make sense.
Right.
Even though we know.
Right. In the long run, this is not good.
Yes.
I told a client just this week, I said, this will have negative consequences. I'm going to support you whatever you do, but I want you to know this is going to have negative consequences, and you knew that when you made that decision.
Yes. I literally asked the client this week as well, are you trying to justify to me or yourself? Because you're talking to me, but I thought that you're justifying to yourself a decision that you know was a bad decision. And she was like, yes, I was. Exactly.
And you weren't.
As long as we are aware.
As long as we know what we're both talking about.
Yes. Because you are trying really hard to justify this. When you know, I know.
And you know that this is not good for you. Like it is self-sabotage. But I feel like self-sabotage is worse when you convince yourself that it's actually good for you.
100%.
It's one thing to be like, I know this ain't a good decision, but this is where I'm at right now. Let's go. It's another thing to be like, this is the best we can do. This is what I'm doing for myself. And then you get there and you was like, this was never about me.
Let me tell you, we will double down and get mad at other people. You don't understand. This is the best thing for me. I should be doing this right now. I'm going to do this. And we're just like, okay.
And as black people say, if you like it, I love it.
Which literally
does not mean
Urban
that.
Dictionary means that we don't like it.
That means what you doing is stupid right now, but I ain't finna argue with you about it. And I love you anyway, so I hope you figure it out.
It's the equivalent of what they say that black folks don't ask you where you going. They just wait for you to pass the turn and be like, so where we going?
I try to do that before they pass the turn, but that's still not very direct communication. I'd be like, so where we? Oh, there it is. Okay.
So like, I'm not gonna point out to you.
So you're
that
going
you
a different
lost.
way.
I'm gonna wait till after you pass it and be like,
you do that to people.
So
be like, oh, so we're taking the scenic route. Okay. Oh, so you don't know where we're going. Okay.
Sometimes. Sometimes. And sometimes I even do it in like life decisions. Like the friend, they'd be like, they're doing another master's degree, and you just be like, so what's your goal again? I ain't gonna ask you directly like what's going on with you in life, but like what's your goal? Like what's your goal?
I mean, but again, I'm not saying don't get the degree. I'm just saying, why are you making sure you know the why? Why are you doing it?
If you got a friend like Lynn from Girlfriends who's on like her 5th or 6th master's degree, and like they all in like random degrees that she's not using, at some point we're gonna.
But that was because she didn't want to get a job. She didn't know what she wanted to do.
Yes. But exactly. So you go the wrong way.
Exactly. But you don't even know why you're going this direction. Yes. Not even willing to say it. You just saying, hey, let me crash with you, whatever. But you don't want to deal with the fact that you actually don't know what you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
But also, who money you spend? That's my question. That's irrelevant. It's not my money. But I'm just saying, that's my question.
Sometimes it do be like that.
Because education is expensive.
Whose gas we spending? We out here,
yours.
We out here, like, passing wrong turns and everything else.
Is the tank still empty? Did you fill up?
I did fill up the next day.
Okay. See, we can get it together eventually. We all can.
Yeah, I did.
So, denial, y'all. We all need to.
Denial is not just a river.
It's in our lives every day. And we all have to deal with some level of it on a regular basis. Truly. And we talk about this, me and Charmaine, all the time. That there is a difference between pressing pause on something because you don't have the capacity, right? Like not making a good decision. Not making the best decision on purpose because you're tired, you're worn out, right? Like the gas situation. Like, it's not life or death.
Sorry.
It's not life or death, right? Like, she wouldn't finna be pushing the car. Like, if it was that serious, you would have done something. Sometimes we just are not at our best and we can't make the best decisions. Mm-hmm. That's fine. That's not the same as going out of your way to make bad decisions for yourself on a regular basis because you don't want to deal with what's going on under there.
I mean,
and you never will.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's one thing to say, I won't deal with this today. It's another thing to say, I'm never dealing with this.
Mm-hmm. But please believe it will always catch up with you.
It doesn't have a choice not to. And again, that doesn't have to be in an outside consequence. That could be physical.
Yep.
Lots of people make bad decisions and they have like physical stuff start to show up.
Yeah, that as well.
They can't breathe, the back hurts, got chronic illness, all the stuff. So serious.
Snap, crackle, pop.
Well, that's probably a consequence of age, but yeah. So I don't know. Let us know what your version of denial might be, even if it's as small as the whole gas thing, or going to bed late when you really should be sleeping, a whole thing. Let us know what your version of that is, and y'all.
Or is it something bigger? Is it something that you chronically avoid, or have you been living life in avoidance for years? It happens.
And this is a survival strategy. I get it.
Yes, it definitely happens. Also, like, let us know, like, what was your reaction when you first listened to this song? Because I remember, like, the first time it popped on my Spotify, and I was like, what is this? And I had to run it back, like, 3 or 4 times. But how did you guys feel about Doechii's Denial is a River? As always, like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, share, and all the other good stuff. And
Stay mentally dope, y'all. Bye.
Bye.